Hello, welcome back. So today I'm going to be kind of thrift flipping this old dress that I got given. Nothing too different, nothing too drastic, you know, we're keeping it safe today. So without any further ado, let's get started. So to start, I'm just unpicking the sleeves off of this dress. I don't really want to have the sleeves in this one. I think I'm going to go for sleeveless. So just seam ripping that off carefully. And now I want to lift the waist because it comes really low and the neckline's pretty low as well, as you can see. So I'm just going to pinch at the top of both of the top of the shoulders. So I'm going to pin it there. So I've turned the whole garment inside out and I'm stitching that line. Snipping off the excess. And then overlocking that. I am snipping off the buttons and buttonholes because I want to be reattaching these later on, but I want to kind of get rid of some fabric in the middle and the center front of the garment. So I'm just going to carefully snip that off. At this point, I am using my mannequin to help me kind of figure out how much fabric I want to take in when I sew this back on. I want to try and get it to the center point of the mannequin, so I know it's at the center of the garment. I'm just draping and pinning the tape back on so it meets up nicely as it should do. Okay, so I'm pinning that down. As you can see, there's a bit of fabric that I will be taking in and cutting off later, but for now just pinning that down where it needs to be. And when I flip it right side, it'll look like that. And at this point, I'm looking at the princess seams and I want them to go across the bust. So stitch that in place. Overlocking that and getting rid of the excess material. And I want to top stitch this as well, just to make it lie really flat at the center front. So I'm top stitching not on the tape, on the rest of the fabric, and holding that seam down so it's quite steady and, you know, it lays flat. Cookies! Okay, so this is a close-up of what it looks like. Very neat. I enjoy that very much. So nice and secure on both sides. It's like it never came off. I put my dress back on the mannequin inside out and I want to pinch bits that need to be taken in more so it skims the body a bit more. So just pinching that in. There was originally some darts here, but I'm just making some deeper ones. I've also got a lot of fabric under the sleeves, pinching and pinning. For the princess seams, I'm just going to be touching the bottom of them and just pinching below the bust to the waist and then a bit into the skirt just to taper it off. And I did, after this, go over, just made like a fade line in a water-soluble pen just to give me more of an idea where I was stitching, but that's not necessary. Just, you know, follow the pins and you'll be fine. Looking fitted and nice. stitching all that in place. And then I decided to overlock these as well, just to take it out that excess fabric that I was taking in. I'm making the armholes a bit bigger around the back. I didn't show on camera, but I just roll hemmed the edge of the armhole just to finish that off. I ironed it down and then stitched it. Nothing fancy, just to finish off the edges. I want to take off some length, just a tad bit too long. Estimating, eyeballing it, you know, not really thinking too much about it at this point. Cool, and this is what I did for the sleeves, and so I'll show you on the base of the skirt, but I'm just folding it up once, ironing it down, and then folding it over again. I'm using quite a thick hem for this. It's quite wide, but I enjoy that. It weighs it down a bit more. On the sleeves, the rolled hem was a lot finer, but this one's quite chunky. And I'm just gonna sew right at the top of that. And my head's in the way. I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize. Alright, so that's all the construction kind of there, to be honest. I wanted to kind of add some extra sparkle or extra interest to this dress by using my embroidery patches that I designed myself, and I've just kind of arranged them around the collar and the neckline, and I think it looks quite nice, and I can't wait to start stitching at this point. So yeah, I'm just taking one at a time and peeling off the back and sticking that on. These will be available in my Etsy shop linked down below if you're interested in these. I think they're really, really fun. Okay, so ready for stitching, ready for embroidery. I'm using a hoop here, but as you can tell on the rest, like on the little sleeve parts, it's really hard to put a loop on. There's not a lot of fabric, so I free-armed that at that point. But for now, I'm using this big hoop to help me a little bit. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on how I embroidered it, but I just used a satin stitch for the flowers. For the big flowers I used 6 strands, and then for the little flowers I used 3 strands for more detail work. So for the flowers, as I said, satin stitch like I'm doing here. Adding some little detail in the flower with some straight stitches. The leaf, I'm just using a fishbone stitch to fill that out. For the lines here, I'm using an outline stitch with 3 strands of thread, and then a fishbone stitch for the little leaves. An outline stitch for a bit of detail in the leaves. Doing that other leaf up there. That was a bit tricky to get to. I had to take the hoop out, I think, for a little bit. And then an outline stitch again. And there you go. There is one flower done. Pretty cute. And I'm just going to use those processes for the rest of the images here. I'm just going to show you what I'm doing with this little one with the 3 strands, just the same thing, more detailed. I'm going to go ahead and stitch up the rest of these. So there's half of my dress done. Moving on to the next. I just have a clip here showing you how I was embroidering without a hoop at this point because I just couldn't see how it was going to work. So just be careful, don't pull too tight. The stick and stitch pads do offer a little bit of stability on your fabric. It depends what fabric you use, I guess. But this works okay for me. Here's me showing you all the embroidery I just did. I was a bit tired at this point, as you can see. The last thing we need to do is soak this top portion of the dress in some water just to dissolve the stick and stitch pads that we don't need anymore. And this doesn't take very long at all. I left it in for about 15 to 20 minutes. That kind of time works. It will start kind of coming off in chunks, really easy, and then I leave it out to dry. So we did it. So we transformed that size 16 Primark dress into something really cool and something I'd wear all the time, and it's got my little embroidery on, which I love. This project brought me so much joy, you have no idea. It's just having the satisfaction to cut open a garment, put it back together, take it in. You know, you're not doing something drastic about it, it's just liking the style and the shape and keeping that and making it to your size and then customizing it with your own embroidery. I think that's so cute. So these patches are available on my Etsy store and my website hopefully soon, because I'm going to sell them there as well. So you can pick these up and put them on anything and customize and choose your own color palette and everything. And yeah, I can't wait to see what you do with them if you end up getting them. I think they're really fun. And the creative freedom there is amazing. And I hope this video has inspired you to maybe look at some old clothes, or if you've got a mom who has some old clothes she doesn't wear that you like but they don't quite fit, or anything like that, or if you find at a charity or a thrift store, you know, don't be afraid to pick it up and be like, hey, what can I do with this? And sorry if this video was a bit messy. The lights situation, I was doing it like at night and in the morning. I need to you know, sort of sort that out. Maybe schedule it a bit better, but I'm not the best at planning, so you know, I'll get better. I hope that's been okay and you've been able to follow along quite well. So yeah, I'll leave you there and I hope you enjoyed. Stick around if you like to, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!